live session on importance of data governance in the age of AI. I am Zainab Islam and I am your host for today's session. Before we begin, I would like to give you a quick intro about AI DataYard. So, AI DataYard is a learning and community platform focused on AI, data, and emerging technologies, where we host sessions like these to help professionals stay updated with what's happening in the industry. Now, coming to today's topic, data governance is becoming more important than ever, especially with AI becoming a core part of the decision making in organizations. If the data isn't reliable, if it is not secure and well managed, AI systems they can easily produce biased and inaccurate or risky outcomes. So today we will explore why governance is not just a compliance requirement anymore; it's like a foundation for responsible and scalable AI. Now I'm excited to introduce our speaker, Sabahat Hussain, who is a data governance manager at Deloitte KSA. She has more than 14 years of experience in data privacy and has worked extensively in data governance, data management, and data quality. She's leading projects across Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. We're really happy to have her with us today. All right, Sabahat, thank you for joining us today. We're really excited to learn from your experience. I will start with a few questions to guide the discussion, and everyone who's watching can also drop their questions in the chat box, and we will try to pick them up after the session ends and when we're done with the list of questions that I have. So, to begin with, could you please introduce yourself and briefly share your experience in the field of data governance?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Zainab, for having me today. And good afternoon to everyone who has joined the live session with us. So, to introduce myself, my name is Sabahat Hussain, and I'm working as a data governance consultant here at Deloitte KSA. I have over 14 years of experience in helping organizations to establish their robust data governance and data management frameworks. So, my journey typically started in you can say 2011, where I was working as an IT consultant, and I was more into the IT field. But then I feel like I realized that there are a lot of things which are not the technical failures, where actually the technical based on the most of the you can say technical failures were not actually the technical ones, but rather they were lack of the rules, you can say, or the accountability of the data itself. So then I changed my horizon towards the data journey in 2021, the peak COVID time, you can say. And then throughout my career, I have been working across multiple industries to implement the data governance strategies and ensure that, the data should be of the quality, it should be, managing the compliance, security, and to enable them to have the better decision making and operational efficiency. So this is my motive now to, help organizations in the data governance and data management journey.
Okay, thank you, Sabahat. So, what role does data governance play in organizations' day-to-day operations and decision making? What is your perspective about it?
Right. Okay. So first of all, let me explain that what exactly data governance is. I would say that data governance is essentially the set of policies, processes, standards that organization put in place to manage their data assets effectively, and also to put in the simplest way. We can say that it's about making sure that your data is accurate, consistent, secure, and should be used responsibly across the organization. So you can say that think of it as a rules and guidelines to help everyone in the company to understand how to handle the data properly. Or I could like say that think of data governance like the rules for road in a city. Without the traffic lights, lane markings, and you can say the speed limits, everything will be chaos, right? So data governance is not just about locking the data away, but it's about creating the framework so that everyone knows that how to handle, share, and protect the data itself, so the traffic of the business keeps moving. So that's my key takeaways, you can say, about the data governance. And if you can say that, what exactly is the day-to-day operations, data governance is playing into the part into the data day-to-day operations is like, if you can say that data governance plays a very critical role in daily operations by ensuring that, data is employees relies on trustworthy data and accessible data. Or you can say that the CEO is making decision based on the gut feeling, or you can say based on the decisions having the dashboard that actually is a trustworthy. In daily operations, it means that the sales department does not really see that three different versions of same customer record, or the finance team does not have to spend 3 hours or uh, three man days, or maybe we can say manually cleaning the Excel sheet before the meeting. So that's how data governance is playing a very critical role into day-to-day operations. So it's like making life easier, making life very very much in day-to-day operations. They would be needing data governance as part of their daily operations, by cleaning up data, by having a trustworthy data, by having the accessible data for their dashboards and visuals as well.
Okay, that's an amazing perspective to put into. Why do you think that why is data governance it's becoming increasingly important for organizations today, especially in the current tech landscape?
Mhm. Okay, it's a very good question. I would say that two words comes in my mind when we talk about that, why data governance is increasing its importance in today's life, is about having a volume data and the regulations. So we are now growing into data, and with the laws as well. Like in KSA we do have NDMO, PTPL, or you can say that GDPR and CCPA in the European countries, and not knowing that what data is no longer valid for the legal defense. And also, if you talk about that in 2026, data itself is if your data is messy, your AI results will even become more messier as well. So you can say that as the data becomes the strategic asset, organization needs a proper data governance framework to unlock its full values, to use the data safely and responsibly.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And now that AI is becoming big part of businesses as well. So how is AI governance different from data governance, and where do these two things overlap?
Okay, it's a really good question, because usually people see it as overlapping. I would say that data governance and AI governance both are siblings, but not the twins. So data governance actually focuses on the inputs, where we talk about quality, privacy, and lineage. Whereas if you see it as AI governance, which focuses on mainly on the outcomes, it mainly focuses on the ethics, it focuses on the logics and the models, and making sure that AI is not hallucinating or showing the biases, right? So, and the overlap, you talk about the overlapping as well. So if we say that overlap is about the data integrity, where you can't have responsible AI feed if the data is feeding the garbage, right? So that's where the overlap is. So if you say that governance is focuses on managing the data securely, data quality and compliance part, and AI governance is more concerned about overseeing the ethical use of it, transparency, having the accountability of how the AI systems are working. So these two are overlapping significantly, because AI systems are actually relying heavily on the data itself, and having the good governance provides the foundation for the trustworthy AI, by ensuring that data is feeding AI models is a reliable and compliant and with the regulations as well. So that's how they both goes hands in hands as well.
Okay. And do you think that companies are now investing more in AI governance alongside with the data governance?
Um, it's a good question, where we can say that companies are realizing that AI is you can say a black box, right? So if AI denies someone's loans or a job, so company needs to you can say needs to able to define that why it has to be rejected. So investing in AI governance is basically, you can name it as the reputation insurance, right? So it prevents the brand from making the catastrophic or automated mistakes. So combining AI governance with data governance creates a comprehensive approach to manage both data and AI responsibly.
Okay. And like if you talk about a bit towards the implementation perspective, then what
Mhm.
are the key steps or like basic roadmap for setting up a data governance and AI governance for any organization?
Uh, okay, so basically, Yanni, you are saying that what should be the roadmap of it to
Yeah.
have the data governance, data and AI. Okay, I would say that most of the organizations try to boil the ocean. So here we can say that we don't need to boil the ocean. Rather, we should focus on the key steps. I would say that our four key step approach would be assess, where you would be finding out your most valuable data is and assessing your current data and AI maturity landscape as well, to understand that where exactly you are standing right now. The second approach would be to have a strategy where you are defining your data owners, data stewards. So you are tagging it with that, who owns what kind of a data. So here you will define the governance objectives aligning with your business goals. You are establishing policies, procedures, guidelines, data quality, data privacy, and AI ethics. Also, you are assigning that roles and responsibility. We already talked about that, who should be assigned for the specific data. And then you're implementing the tools and technologies for monitoring and reinforcement as well. Then you should pilot at least one small use case, like improving the customer emails, go on that very first use case, and then you can scale it according to your needs as well. So most of the organizations try to govern each and everything. I would say that start with the small steps, start with the use cases, the very important use cases that you have it, and then you can scale up as well. Most important thing what I feel like with all the approaches and everything, you should be providing training to your employees, because it's not an implementation thing, it's more about culture and adaptations, right? So you would be providing and fostering a culture of data and AI responsibly, and also you would be continuously reviewing it and improving your governance policies, procedures based on the feedback from the organization and based on the evolving regulations as well, because we need to really see that how the regulations are evolving.
Okay, okay. And like if I further ask about like how things go in real life, they're never smooth, you know. So what common challenges do you think that organization face while adopting data or AI governance, and how can they overcome those challenges?
Mhm. Okay, Zainab, this is a very good question. That what are the common challenges usually people faces during the implementation and all that. I would say that this is, and initially as well I said that this is not something a technical hurdle. It's not a tech hurdle, right? It's more about the culture. People see governance and think of it as a bureaucracy or a something which is hindering their businesses. Rather, it's not the case. So we need to show them, and you're saying that how to address them. So we need to show that how it's making the life easier by having proper governance. So if I can show a marketing manager that governance can save his 5 hours a week by having a cleanup data, because he was spending a lot of time in cleaning up data. So if we have a cleanup data already, which sets by the data governance, so I won him, right? So the governance and the organizations should focus on engaging the leadership and to champion governance initiatives. They should clearly define the roles and responsibilities. So these are all the things that we needed to take step by step approach, rather jumping into governing each and everything. So and also you need to promote cross functional collaborations to promote and to break up the data which is in the silos. So you need to have all the data available so that everyone can utilize it responsibly, but everyone should be able to utilize the data, because data is an asset for the organization and they can use it.
Yeah, okay. And if I ask you again about, do you think that what could be the main pillars for any strong data governance framework, what could they be?
Sorry, come again. The pillars for the data governance.
Yeah, main pillars for strong data governance framework.
Okay, so for the data governance framework, we do have data quality, lineage, which is about data having a data catalog, you should have a master and reference data, and you should have a data security as well. So if we talk about and in Dharma as well, and in NDMO as well, we have key pillars where we are focusing on, we can say, key domains where we are focusing on the areas where we have to govern the data, govern the organization's data. So first of all, we should have the data available, which is about having a data cataloging. Then we should have that available data should be of the quality, right? So then we are focusing on the data quality. Master and reference data is very much important, and and on top of that, having the data security enable on that. So these are the key pillars that we should have on the data governance.
Okay. And what who should own the data governance in any organization? I mean, like the IT team, the data team, business, or compliance. Who should be the one owning it?
Right. So it's a very good question. Who owns the data governance? So since I said that, this is the cultural change where everyone is involved, and I said that, we should have our roles and responsibilities being tagged with everyone. It means that everyone in the organization is involved in the data governance. It's a cultural change. It's not something that has to be with IT, that has to be with the business, that has to be with anyone else. But yes, I can say that, if we are starting off, or if we are initiating the data governance initiative, it should sit in the data management office, which hands in hands works with the business teams. So it shouldn't be sitting in the IT, because it's not an IT project. Rather, it should with the business, because it's a business initiative. It's enabling your business. It's making most use of your business as well. So it sits with the business.
Okay. So and how can organizations can define these policies and make sure that people do follow them? What could be a hack or maybe a cheat sheet that
Yeah.
making people actually following them?
Right. Okay. So, since let's suppose if we have a project of data governance, and we set out all the policies, procedures, and everything, and then comes the point we need to follow the policies and procedures, right? So, let's suppose if I give you an example of, we have created the policies and procedures for the data quality. So, whoever we have involved in the, you can say, in the initiative as a working group for the data quality, those were the people who would be following those policies and procedures, right? And since it's a organization wide change, it's an organization wide implementation, so we should have those trainings and learning sessions for the data governance, that these are the awareness sessions, and where we'll be saying that you need to follow all these policies and procedures to use the data responsibly, and having the most use of the data as well.
Yeah, okay. And if we talk about some risks when AI is built on poor or unmanaged data, what do you think? What comes to your mind?
About the risk.
Yeah, like the risk that we might face if our AI is built on poor data.
Mm-hmm. So the risk, you can say, let's suppose if you are using a poor data, and you are getting the dashboards, and you are getting all the results based out of it, and you are making decisions on those poor data as well. So it's organization wide damage to that. That's why we say that AI and data governance both works hands in hand, because if we do have a quality of the data, and we are working on the data itself, we'll have the most valuable data to be used for. So it's a company wide risk. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And I think it should be my last question, because then we should turn towards the questions that we have in our
Mhm.
comments. My last question is especially for students and early professionals who are watching us today. So, how do you see data and AI governance as a career path, and what key skills should be people focus on to succeed in this field?
Mhm. Okay, so it's a very fantastic field, and I can say that it's a future-proof field. And you say that students should be focusing on a mix of data ethics. They should know basic SQL, Python, and most importantly, the communication skills. And the superpower skill would be that they would be able to translate IT speak into the business value. So you have to be part of the librarian, you have to be part of the lawyer, a diplomat, every cap you need to wear it in the data governance. I really enjoy being in this field. That's because we have to be somewhat somewhere. So the key skill focus to include is that you should have a good understanding of data management principles and the regulatory requirements. So if you are placed in a country, you should have a very good knowledge of the regulatory, which the data regulatory which they are following, so you are abiding yourself with the regulatory requirements as well. You should have a good knowledge of AI technology and ethical considerations. uh, uh, Communication we already talked, and you should have analytical skills and problem solving skills as well. I would say that for students and professional, gaining certifications like CDMP is a certification that is acceptable worldwide, and the practical experience in the area which will significantly enhance their career prospect as well. So these are the key I can say that skills they should be focusing
Skills
on.
that matter. Yeah, okay, okay. I think now let's switch towards the comments, the questions that we have in comments. The first question that I see here is from Sidra, and she's asking that does data governance policies and regulations vary from industry to industry? What are the basic policies and regulations that drive compliance and governance?
Okay, yeah. So we can say that yes, it does vary from industry to industry, but not too much to an extent. Yes, because let's suppose if I am working um, in the pharmaceutical industry, right? So they might have some of the regulatories different towards the insurance industry, right? So the policies and procedures are a little bit different, but the domains, or you can say the structural or framework, remains the same. It means that you are working on creating the policies around data governance, having data quality, cataloging, metadata management. You are working towards the master master data management, reference data management. You are working towards this security as well. So these are all the aspects that we are working towards, but motive remains the same, that we have a framework around it, because governance creates a framework around the policies and procedures. Domains remains the same, pillars remain the same, but industry to industry, yes, it does vary a little bit. And what was the second question?
The second question was what are the basic policies and regulations that drive compliance and governance?
I talk about it, right? The basic
Yeah,
policies
you
and
did.
procedures.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was answered in the first part. Okay, we have next question, which is how does data governance impact the reliability and fairness of AI models?
How does data governance, what?
Impacts the reliability and fairness of AI models.
Okay, so since we talk in the beginning as well, that how data governance differs and how data governance is similar to AI governance. So if we don't have a data, we can say the quality of the data available, your AI models will automatically get affected, right? You don't have a good data, and based on the bad data, you are creating models, so it will eventually affect it. So to have the AI, or to have you have name a very good tool, but if you don't have a good feed from the data itself, everything will collapse. So you should have a very good framework around your data. Very first step should be having a good data framework, having a quality of the data, and then you can start your AI modeling and your framework and all that.
Okay. And another question that we have here is why is data governance critical for finance professionals and how does it directly impact financial decision making, risk management, and regulatory compliance?
Okay, so it's not that it is very much important for the finance only. It is important for all of the departments of the organization. But yes, since we are talking about the finance, so why it is important for finance? Because there are a lot of decision making based on the data itself, right? Finance is heavily working on the Excel sheets, working on the heavily on the data itself coming from different sources, right? So if you have data governance around your data, you have a valuable data to be presented, right? Initially we talk about it that if the finance guy is working on cleaning up data, so if the job is done previously, if the job is done by having a good governance, so they don't have to spend too much time on cleaning up the data. Rather, they will be working on making the most valuable outputs of the data, right? So that's how finance department is, or you can say the finance guys are using data too much, and data governance is important for them as well.
Okay. And then we have what is governance of digitalization, Does it include data and AI both, or anything else too?
Okay, so for the digitization, yes, data and AI both are important. And what was the second question?
You want me to repeat the next part?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other part is, does it include data and AI both, or anything else too?
Okay, so I can just say that being in the data governance, yes, data and AI is both of important, but I'm not sure about the other aspects of it for the digitalization. Yes.
Okay. And then we have, I see the last question in the comment, which is, you talked about steward and owner role. Can you please elaborate on these roles a bit more?
Yeah, sure. So let's suppose if we are starting a data governance program, right, and we don't identify the roles itself in the very much beginning, so we won't be able to collaborate and work with the data stewards and the data owners. So I can say that you need to identify data owners and data stewards. Who are they? So data owners are the person who is accountable for the data. Let's suppose if I'm working with the finance department, if I'm working with the compliance department, so I need to identify first of all data owner, and they could be the managers, or because they are the accountable ones, so they can take the decisions, right? So they are the data owners. And under data owner, we do have the data stewards. Right now we don't mainly use the data steward word. We usually use data champions. So data champions are the ones that are working on the data itself by bringing the data, cleaning up the data, and having that, seeing the lineage as well. So they are the people who are working on ground under the supervision of the data owners. So we do have data owners and then data stewards, or you can say data champions, working under them. And based on the working group, they can wear data quality caps, they can wear data lineage caps, or you can say metadata cap, and then the security as well. So they are working in all of the domains of the governance areas, and based on the project to project, right? So if I'm initiating a project on the cleaning up the data or having the data quality initiative, so those are the data stewards coming from different departments, from finance, from compliance, from business. All of the departments, data stewards will be coming together, we are working, and then we can be dismantling as well.
Okay, that's all from our side, and thank you so much, Sabahat, for joining the session, for these all the insights that you shared with us. It was a pleasure having you here, and once again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Zainab, for having me. And thank you, everyone who has joined the webinar today on the data governance. I hope the discussion has provided you with valuable insights and into the importance of managing data and AI responsibly in your day-to-day activities in your organization.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Have a
Very
good day. Thanks everyone for joining. Have a great day. Bye.
bye.